Hi everyone, this is Nina McMillan. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You can see my blog at ninasouthern.blogspot.com. You can also like me on Facebook at Nina Southern Accents. I am participating in a blog hop hosted by Jennifer Frost, and I'm excited to be a part. This is my third blog hop. And this blog hop, we are making a project using only stamps, ink, and paper, showing that you don't have to have a lot of expensive, fancy tools to make some beautiful cards and projects. So this is the card. This is my project. And I've had this card in my head for a while, and I'm so glad that I get to feature it in this blog hop. It's actually using the Painted Harvest set out of the 2017 holiday catalog. This makes some beautiful sunflowers, but as you can see, it's versatile. I'm using it as a Christmas wreath. So the stamp sets we're going to be using are the Painted Harvest. We're also going to be using the sentiment for the inside, May the Miracle of Christmas Fill Your Heart with Joy. We're going to be using that from the Snowflake Sentiments. This is also out of the holiday catalog. And then my Merry Christmas here comes from the Merry Patterns stamp set. This was a Hostess exclusive set that was available in September and October for a $300 workshop. Now you may be thinking, oh, I can't get that stamp set anymore. Well, I have good news. If you place a $50 order with me by November 26th, using this host code, you will be entered into a chance to win this stamp set, okay? You can go to my Facebook page. There's a Shop Now button there. You can go to my Blogspot page, my blog. There's a Shop Now button there. But like I said, a $50 or more order will enter you into a drawing, and it has to be done by November 26th, and you could possibly win this set. So let's get on with our card. That's the stamp sets we're going to be using. The ink colors we're going to be using, we have 3 ink colors: our Cherry Cobbler, Pear Pizzazz, and Old Olive. And then the paper, the cardstock that we need, you need a piece of Cherry Cobbler that is just half a sheet of cardstock, cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. That's our card base. All right, the other pieces that you need, and these are cut down into 1/4 inch increments, okay? So, I'm sorry. This one's going to be 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. It's more than 1/4. All right. This one is 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. Now, the Whisper White pieces are cut down at 1/4 inch from these. These, I believe, are cut at 1/2 inch. Or, anyway. So they're step down pieces. The Whisper White, the smallest piece is 2 inches by 3 1/4. This one is 3 inches by 4 1/4. And this one is 4 by 5 1/4. We also have another piece that exact same width for the inside of our card. Now, how in the world did we get all this to line up? Well, it's very simple. What you're going to do, first of all, is take some snail adhesive, and you're just going to put a touch, not hardly anything, and you're going to center that up on that piece. Then you're going to do the same thing with the next layer, just a touch. In fact, you can touch your finger and make it less sticky because we're going to be pulling these apart. So, make sure it's all lined up. Now, to make the Christmas wreath, you're going to do the same thing like you would do the sunflower. It's just the colors that you use. So make sure those are lined up really good. And I'm going to bring over my Stampin' Pierce mat. When you're using the photopolymer stamps, that makes a big difference. It helps them stamp so much better. Let's start out with the Pear Pizzazz. And we're going to be using this biggest image. So we're going to ink up our stamp. And here's our card. So I just started in the corner. You want to try to get as much of the image on all 3 pieces of paper, okay? And you want to stamp in a triangular pattern somewhat when you're stamping images like this. Now, you see where it's missed? Don't worry about that, because you're not going to be able to tell that one little bit. You do want to take your stamp straight up and straight down. And you see that my stamping is, some of it's darker and some of it's lighter. That's okay. The stamps were designed to give you a watercolor look. All right. Now let's get just a little one right over here. All right. So our base color is in Pear Pizzazz. Now let's take out the Old Olive. Actually, you know what? I forget to do this every time. I'm going to go ahead and be doing the inside of my card and the envelope while I've got my ink out, because I'll clean up my stamp and then I'm like, I haven't done the inside and I haven't done my envelope. So I'm just stamping in the corners. That's one thing that I love about making my own cards, is doing the inside and the outside. Let me grab an envelope. Just making everything coordinate. And if you'll see on my envelope, I just stamped it down here in the corner. That was I picked up the wrong stamp. That's okay. Okay. Let me clean this one off. So now we're going to go in with this next image, and we're going to use the Old Olive. So it's going to be darker. Let me put this away because I am famous for stamping in the wrong ink. Let me go ahead and get the inside of my card. Now, I'm going to be lining up the middle. And this stamp, it doesn't matter which way you've got it turned, but it's easiest to kind of get it lined up if you line up that middle. All right, let's do the envelope. There we go. Now we've got to get to our other card. And what did I do with it, y'all? Here it is. If y'all could see the mess my craft room is in, and I wish I could say that was something that's unusual. How many of you crafters have that problem? So now I'm just lining up that center. Uh-oh. That's okay. You can just line it back up. You don't want to use a lot of snail, but I guess you want to use enough that it sticks, okay? So there's the Old Olive. See the dimension that gives? I just love this set. I think this is, if I had to pick a favorite, it would be hard, but this is in the top of my favorites. Now we're going to add the little berries. And I'm using Cherry Cobbler ink, and I'm just stamping those. Just do around each wreath. So who already has their Christmas tree up? Not me. Who's done all their Thanksgiving grocery shopping? Not me. And I'm filming this the Saturday before Thanksgiving. No, this is Friday. See, I'm getting my days all mixed up. I've got a busy weekend ahead of me. Okay, so now I've got the berries. Okay, you know what? I've got to do the berries on the inside of my card and my envelope. You know what? I need to get this ink off. I'm just taking a baby wipe because I'm going to make a mess. All right, and berries on here. Okay, one more. There we go. Now, while we've got this here, let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment for the inside. Get all of our stamping done, and then we can put, I'm lining up this bottom edge here. All right, it looks a little off, but that's okay. So set that aside. Now, we've got to do our Merry Christmas. Go ahead and do that, and then I can put my ink away. So I'm just taking a scrap that I have, and here's the Merry Christmas from the Merry Pattern stamp set. I love that font. It's just a small greeting that you can use on all kinds of projects. I'm going to stamp it down. Now, if you see on my card how I did this banner here, I just took my snips and you want to cut that, and then you're going to cut up the middle, just a little snip there, and then you're going to go from this corner up to the top of the cut, and then from this corner to the top of the cut, and there's your banner edge. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just eyeball the middle up to there and up to there, and there you have it. Now, I did add a little dimension to mine with my bone folder. I just curled it. Again, I just curled with my bone folder, my paper, to give it some dimension. So now we've got to put our card together. I told you it was easy. So we've got to take these apart. So just pop them apart. Be real easy with that snail. Take your, now you want to keep that orientation. Make sure you pay attention so when you put this together, you don't have it some upside down. So make sure you keep that stamped piece. Pay attention to the orientation. So let's start off with this one. We're going to center this up on our card base. I'm going to use my Tombow. I love the Tombow. I think it's the most economical glue in our catalog. And a little goes a long way. I saw a hint using Tombow dot dot, not a lot. I don't dot mine, but it goes a long way. So now our second piece, this is going to layer here, and see how that's going to hide those places we missed. So let's get this glued down. I'm going to center it up on this piece. Then we're going to put, and that's another thing about the Tombow, it's very forgiving. You've got a little wiggle room. Sometime if you don't get it lined up perfectly straight, you can rearrange it. So now we're just placing that down, looking at it, making sure it's centered. That looks good. Now the next layer. Gonna center that up. And just to make sure. We're just going to center that up. All right, and now to attach our Merry Christmas, I'm just going to use a couple of glue dots. I'm going to put one down here, and then I want to put one right on this edge. I'm curling it up, but I want to make sure this is really secure. And I'm just going to set this kind of right in the middle of that wreath there. And then let's put the inside of our card in. Center that up. Okay, and there's our beautiful card using just stamps, ink, and paper, nothing fancy. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Visit my blog where you can find all the dimensions, and like me on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and remember, if you use November host code at my online store, that's SQ92XZBP, if you use that and order a minimum of $50, you're entered into a drawing, and I'll draw December 1st for the Merry Patterns stamp set. Thank you, and have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas.